scheduled for 12, round number 7. Nobody has been down. It is incredible because Danny Lopez, including the 2 left hooks late in the 6th round, has taken some bombs.
What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of World Championship fight. We're taking a look at Danny Little Red Lopez. He is to your left. And Bobby Schoolboy Chacon just took a beautiful straight right hand, and he has his back to you. And this is for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World.
Weighed in at 123.5 pounds today, and the story around ringside is 122.5 of those pounds are heart. Danny's right eye heavily coated now with ointment, and the cut is forcing a swelling too, starting to close a little bit.
Now, Bobby Chacon was born November 28, 1951 in North Hollywood, California. He fought from 1972 to 1988, had a total bout career of 67 fights, 59 wins, 7 losses, and he had 47 knockouts. Now, Danny Little Red Lopez was born July 6, 1952. He was born in Utah. He fought from 1971 to 1992. Had a total bout career of 48 fights, 42 wins, 6 losses, 39 knockouts, and he was stopped 5 times himself.
Exactly 1 minute left.
He was stopped by Salvador Sanchez and Bobby Chacon.
Danny Lopez has not been able to put together the 1 or 2 or 3 punches that will shake Chacon up, that will hurt Chacon. He has not hurt Chacon.
Now in this fight, Danny Little Red Lopez is 21 years old. He stood 5'7.5" and he had a 71-inch reach. He had a record of 23 wins, 22 knockouts. As for Bobby Chacon, he was 23 years old. He stood 5'5.5" and he had a record of 23 wins and 21 knockouts.
That is round 7, scheduled for 12.
Now, some of these fight films are not in the best condition, but when you're studying boxing, you have to make out what you can make out. It was a nice jab by Danny Little Red Lopez. He's to your right, and Bobby Chacon is to your left.
Check of the eye and then sauntered right back. It's not in a serious spot. It's right in the right eyebrow, but that eye is starting to swell and close a little bit, both upper and lower. He's getting a little mouse under the right eye to go with that swelling in the lid and brow above. And, 2-3 rounds from now, if this fight goes that far, Danny could have a whole lot of trouble seeing out of the right eye. It could be closed, in fact. It is scheduled for 12.
Now, this is the 8th round. The fight would only go 1 more round, and that's why I'm showing you the fight, even though it's not in the best condition. Just showing you a few rounds, because these are lineal titles that we're watching being exchanged hands.
It continues to swell and close, and a couple of rounds, 3 rounds from now, that eye could be almost closed.
Now, Bobby Chacon will be in the ring in the future with Alexis Aguayo. He was in the ring with Ruben Oliveros. He'll be in the ring with Rafael Bazooka Limon 4 times.
And there seems little question that Bobby
Boza
Chacon
Edwards.
is well in command of this fight so far.
He'd be involved in some of the greatest fights in boxing history.
2 minutes, 7th round. Make it the 8th.
Once again, Bobby Chacon is to your right, and Danny Little Red Lopez is to your left. Lopez is suffering a cut right now at this time. Oh, good jab by Bobby Chacon.
One thing about Lopez, though, he is always dangerous, even late in the fight.
Danny Little Red Lopez will be champion. Oh,
Left hook turns
he's hurt.
around.
1976 to 1980. He would lose his title to Salvador Sanchez.
1 minute left, 8th round. What Lopez needs to turn this fight around, 1, 2, or 3 punches that will get Chacon in trouble. He has not been able to put them together.
Good body punch by Chacon.
30 seconds, 8th round, and in this round, Bobby Chacon
good jab by Bobby Chacon.
Disadvantage. Caught Lopez napping with a right hand coming out of the break. Little Red has 4 more rounds to get in that big punch or punches to pull it out.
Now this will be the last round.
Round number 9
between Bobby Chacon and Danny Little Red Lopez.
It is scheduled for 12. Nobody has been down, and that's the remarkable thing about this fight. The punches, Lopez, he is going this time.
Lopez is on the ropes. He is hurt, and he will be knocked out this round. Bobby Chacon is opening up left and right, body and head, and Lopez is down. It's open season for Bobby Chacon. This fight should be stopped.
Thomas watching it. He is about ready to stop.
This fight has to be stopped.
He is stopping the fight by a knockout.
Oh my God. Bobby Chacon.
At 48 seconds of round number 9
is the winner.
48 seconds into round number 9. The winner by knockout, Bobby Chacon. He had Lopez down once. And a fun lover is just going into the ring to congratulate Bobby. He had Lopez down once in this 9th round, and we're going to see it now.
Beautiful straight right hand, left hook, right hand combination.
Here is the official announcement.
Oh my God.
I looked up at the clock myself. I don't care what they call it officially. It was 48 seconds into the 9th round. KO by Bobby Chacon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time 48 minutes in round number 9.
Jimmy Lennon Sr.
Thomas Malinchard stopping the bout. Winner by knockout, Bobby Chacon.
He's taking on a former world champion, Hiroshi Kobayashi, from Japan, as I mentioned, outside of Tokyo. Kobayashi comes in at 60 wins, 9 losses, 4 draws. One of the more experienced fighters that Roberto Duran has faced thus far in his career. Roberto, 26-0, as you know, 21 KOs, a great knockout artist from right here in Panama. Now, the heat could be a factor tonight. You know, Kobayashi trains up there in Japan, in the northern part of Japan, and it's kind of cool there. So the humidity here, this is an outdoor arena. The humidity here will play a factor, but it won't be a real big factor along around the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, that area, when this heat and humidity just can drain a body. You see, Kobayashi's no slouch, one of the better fighters, as we take a look at him here in round number 1. By the way, this fight is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, 10-point must-scoring system, meaning the winner of the round gets 10 points, the loser 9 or less. Scoring will be done by 3 judges based on effective aggressiveness, clean hits, ring generalship, and defense. And the fighter must get up following a low blow, or he may be counted out. There's no standing 8 count, but there is a mandatory 8 count following knockdowns, and anything else that becomes a factor here as we watch Roberto Duran, since they both have the white trunks, and you may not be familiar with either one of these fellas as yet. Duran, the guy to the left of your screen right now with the white lacing on his shoes. And you see Kobayashi, pretty good body puncher. I'll tell you, the favorite fighter of Roberto Duran is a guy by the name of Ismael Laguna, a fellow Panamanian. Nice shots inside by Kobayashi. And you see the way the man with the hands of stone, this young Duran takes shots. Look at the shot! Kobayashi is wailing him here in the early going in round one. Again, for Roberto Duran, he's fought most of his fights right here in Panama. So internationally, he hasn't had the type of competition that perhaps you need. But I'll tell you right now, when you look at Roberto Duran, he has all the skill, all the ability. This kid is really tough. He's the type of guy you don't want to be next to unless you're in a foxhole someplace, and then you definitely want him with you. This kid is some kind of tough. The way he looks, he has all the ability. Look at that long looping right hand. Backs off Kobayashi. Kobayashi takes him behind the left ear. He's noticed the hands coming down at Kobayashi. Already this tremendous humidity here in Panama can force a guy to wilt. He goes downstairs. Kobayashi got off some good shots, but look at Duran. Every time he gets hit, it ignites him. Oh, nice right hand that time by the Panamanian. Look at the shots to the body. He never stops throwing punches. They call him the little hands of stone. And by golly, with a knockout record, he has 21 KOs, 26 wins. This guy is something else. Wow, look at this. Panama Stadium, Bob Sheridan back here. This is a classic. Roberto Duran, you're watching the maturation of a guy that I believe is going to be a great champion. You're also watching Hiroshi Kobayashi, a former champion of the world. He lost his WBA world title to Alfredo Marcano. That was in the 10th round of his very last fight. He was KO'd in the 10th. Guys get the book on him, a technician in the ring, no great KO power, and he certainly won't knock out Roberto Duran tonight with the kind of shots that he is throwing. I'll tell you, he may be concerned about getting knocked out himself because look at Duran. Jab, bangs downstairs. Wild with that shot upstairs. Duran bounces one off the point. Closing seconds of round number one. Go with round number two. Bob Sheridan back here. We're in Panama City. A hot, humid October evening here. The two fighters in the ring, Roberto Duran, the favorite son to the left of your screen, and Hiroshi Kobayashi from Japan, now to the left of your screen. Two real good fighters, one veteran in Kobayashi and another up-and-comer. You're going to see a lot of this guy, Roberto Duran. We talked about Duran fighting most of his career here in Panama, but the fact of the matter is, Kobayashi, in spite of the fact that he won the World Junior Lightweight title from a countryman, Yoshiaki Numata, in December of 1964, he's fought a good part of his career, only 9 times in 73 bouts outside of Japan. Will that be a factor? I think it will be before this one's over. Remember, we're in round two. It's Roberto Duran to the right of your screen, who's getting busy now, and Kobayashi, long looping right hand, catches Kobayashi. So far, he hasn't caught him flush. We're in round two. You see the shots, the way Duran is able to gobble him up. Kobayashi unleashes a wild right hand. This kid is already showing me the ability to land shots cleanly. He takes away the vision from the left eye. He goes with right hand leads like that one. Wild with the right hand is Kobayashi. He catches Duran high in the top of the head. But you see Duran really took a shot that time. Kobayashi loading up shots. And as he does, Duran is really ready to counter him. He's doing a nice job countering shots. Has no fear of the punching power of Hiroshi Kobayashi. Of course, here in Panama, you can hear the crowd. They absolutely love this kid. They all feel he's going to be world champion. And I have to tell you something, myself, I haven't seen a better lighter-weight fighter. This was supposed to be in the junior lightweight division. Well, you know, as a matter of fact, the junior lightweight division is the 130-pound division. Then the lightweight division is 135, and the junior welterweight is actually 140. Well, Duran is in tonight at 136, so he's actually fighting as a junior welterweight. The other guy's 135. He's actually fighting as a lightweight, but here in Panama, they're calling it a junior lightweight special attraction. Well, it is special tonight, because in round two, Roberto Duran is beginning to pile up points. I gave him round number one. The judges, of course, the 3 judges in attendance, all Panamanians, will do the scoring here. And if Kobayashi really doesn't do something significant and pick up the pace here a little bit and land some of these wild right hands that he's throwing, it's going to be very difficult for him to get the scorecard here in Panama City. Remember, this is outside, and remember, it's very, very humid. And remember, most fighters that come from northern countries, that time a pretty good looping right hand got through, but it just has no effect on young Roberto Duran. Duran, 20 years old, against a 27-year-old veteran, Kobayashi. But I'll tell you, Duran has got this round, too, landing real good shots. Coming up to the closing seconds now of round number 2, and it's all Duran. Back in Panama City, Bob Sheridan here for another great classic in the history of boxing. Roberto Duran, just 20 years old, and from what they tell me here in Panama, he's going to be around for a long time. It's Roberto Duran with his back to you. To the right of your screen, former world champion Hiroshi Kobayashi. And this is the way the first couple of rounds went. Kobayashi starting the round fast, and then I keep mentioning the heat and humidity, but I think it's a very important factor because Roberto Duran is used to it here in Panama. And it's very, very hot in October this time of year in Panama, and the humidity is just brutal. I'm roasting here at ringside, and most of the Panamanian people just love this heat. So you got to figure Duran loves it, and Kobayashi's got to be suffering out there. That's why you see him wilt and the hands come down as the time goes by. And Duran, of course, stays right on top of him. Nice, clean fight. Roberto with his hands of stone. A lot of people said he's such a brawler, but he's a clean fighter. He is a brawler in that he throws so many punches. Look at him. Jab, jab, jab. He's a classic guy. Jab, he par in there, then he goes to the right hand lead. As soon as the guy tries to mix it up, Roberto bangs him and makes him pay. Angelo Dundee says hit and don't get hit, and Roberto Duran doesn't pay any attention to that because he'll hit. You see the referee say, hey, keep it up, Roberto. Roberto not throwing low punches, but occasionally they land down in the belt area, but he loves to work the body. He goes downstairs, back up, then goes to the right hand lead. Very effective, that right hand lead. Roberto likes to stay just off the left shoulder of the Japanese fighter, and when he does that, he takes the vision away with his left, and then he drops the right hand. That's why he can get away with going with these right hand leads. Watch Roberto with his right hand lead. See what I mean? He takes the vision away with the left when he works that left eye of Kobayashi. This guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's only 20 years old. This is his 6th fight this year. By the way, he fought 22 of his 26 bouts right here in Panama. Up to New York City one time. He fought in Madison Square Garden, a huge hit up there. And then he's had 3 fights in Mexico. But this kid, as he develops and continues to develop, is truly a world-class fighter. You can see the way he's controlling a guy that's a former champion. About a minute to go, and this is the 3rd round. I have Duran winning the first 2 rounds of my scorecard. That's unofficial, needless to say. The judges will be doing the official scoring. 3 judges, 3 Panamanian judges do the scoring here. But I would be very surprised if this one goes the distance. It's just too hot, and you can see even through and into this 3rd round here that Kobayashi is beginning to wilt in this heat and humidity. Very, very tough one. The referee says, okay, keep the hands up. I don't know why. He goes with the right hand lead. Totally ineffective to Roberto Duran. Duran loves it. You know, you see Kobayashi showing flashes of greatness, too. You don't become a world champion and don't look good at times during a fight, no matter how good the competition is. Don't forget Roberto, only 20 years old. What a future this kid's got. Coming up now to the closing seconds of this, the 3rd round from Panama City. On my scorecard, but the fact of the matter is Duran has really taken command here in the 6th round. He's landing more blows, he's landing heavier blows, and Roberto not wilting at all. Look at the way he moves down at the body. The former champ tries to put pressure on him. It's Kobayashi with his back to you. He lands a pretty good shot inside, a nice combination with about a minute to go here in the 6th round. He lands combinations, but heck, he's a former world champion. Expect him. And Duran has no fear of this guy's power. So he lets him land him. You see Duran leaning over. He's really a little bull. And now he's telling him, keep the hands up and keep your hands closed. Referee Ortega, he's unbelievable. He's got 5 years experience as a professional, this kid. Don't forget he started boxing at age 15. He's 20 years old now. And this kid's going to be around for a long time. He loves to fight. Through an interpreter the day before yesterday, we had a chance to talk to Roberto, and he was telling us, man, I love this sport. I love this career. I love my president. I love my country. I'm going to fight for Panama for my entire... He says, I'll still be fighting when I'm 45 years. That's the kind of heart and desire. Well, history will tell whether he'll be around that long, but he's a great one. Coming up to the closing seconds now of this, the 6th round from Panama. Big finishing shot by Roberto Duran. Kobayashi, Duran really gave him a pasting in the 6th. Japanese fighter last. Duran really scored a lot of punches in the sixth, and you notice Kobayashi missing a lot of shots here because he's fatigued. Good body shot, light left, and big right hand. Look at that, he backs him up. Big shot and drops the former champ. Roberto Duran has him down. The count's up to 4 and 5. He's not going to make it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and he's counted out to 10. The referee's back was to me, and I couldn't see just how fast he was counting, but he definitely counted him out and then waved his hands to the 10 count. Look at the crowd. They love Roberto Duran.
And the bell for round one. Ready for Chacon. We're underway, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of action ahead in this scheduled 15-rounder. There's never been a Duran fight without action. I've never seen this kind of bad fight. Duran is impressive, and so is Estefan, because Estefan knows that he can beat Duran. He's the only man to have done it. And let's keep in mind, Bertie, that in their last meeting in 72, Duran hit the canvas in the first round. I wonder if he's thinking about it. He's not going to let it happen again. They're both letting the haymakers go here early in the opening seconds of round one. I guarantee you he's not thinking about it, because if he got knocked down, he certainly got up, and he certainly kept on fighting. Hands of steel and hands of stone. Either way, he is one of the heaviest punchers for a little man that's ever been seen. Bob, you have to realize they're fighting in a steam bath. It's over 100 degrees here. Both men should not be affected by the heat. They're both from this part of the world, and that kind of heat just starts the action up faster. And the kind of heat that starts it up real fast is the hatred that they feel for each other. 134.5 pounds. What Duran weighed for this title defense. Oh, a great left hook to the chin of Duran. Oh, another one around. Oh, Duran, leave it. I can't believe it. He's down from a hook. A perfect hook. Well, he set him up. He hit him a great shot just before that. Fallen with a right, then came back with the exact same punch, and down went the champion. But Duran doesn't appear affected. He's right back in business. Now, it's up to Estefan to take advantage of this. If he's rocked at all, it's up to Jesus to step on it, and he's doing it with both hands. One to the head, one to the body. Again, he rocks Duran. Again, Duran locks him in a grip, but he's back right in his face. Well, Duran not showing any ill effects of that knockdown. He took a standing 8 count, up right away, went down solid, but got up very fast. And they're really mixing it in, Bertie, and the people are on their feet already, and it's only the opening midway of round one. They're both exchanging savage hooks. That's toe-to-toe action. Both mean business, but Duran is throwing everything he's got in his punch. Jesus is a little bit more measured, a little bit cooler about everything. Maybe that's why he got Duran down in the first round. He is absolutely cool about this. Well, he's not the champion, but he's fighting like one in these early stages because he hurt Duran, and yet he didn't go out and punch himself out. He's pacing himself, just looking again for that opening. We're not over-anxious. Which might be a mistake, Bob, because you don't get that many breaks against Duran. Not a man who has knocked out 33 of 42 opponents. All right, less than 10 seconds now, and a great first round where De Jesus had put Roberto Duran on the canvas. Tremendous first round as we look at the champion in his corner, and let's look at the action in that round one. Well, this is a knockdown. You will see both men trading. There is an overhand right by Duran. Duran is dropping his left. As they come together, they both throw simultaneously. There's a tremendous hook by Estefan de Jesus, almost thrown reflexively, that catches Duran off balance. Doesn't hurt him as much as stings him. He gets up. He doesn't appear to be bothered at all. He's been Freddie Brown and Ray Arcel, two men of the best argument against early retirement I know, working feverishly over Duran. I think Duran's in good shape. Estefan de Jesus in this corner appears cool. They seem to have bought out that bolt of cloth, don't you think? Everyone's got the same material on there in the corner. Well, if this is any indication of what's ahead for the next 14 rounds, if it goes to Schedule 15, do not go away, folks. Just hang right in there as Estefan de Jesus gets ready to come out of his corner, and the champion with some last-minute instructions from the veteran Ray Arcel. Pushes him literally, and Duran kicks something out of the ring. He's aware of where he is and what he's doing. So obviously no ill effects from the knockdown in round one as we move into the opening seconds of round two. Now, what a wonderful combination in
Duran's corner. Ray Arcel and Freddie Brown can't speak Spanish, and Duran can't speak English, and yet they understand each other. That is some kind of combination in the corner. Again, back to fierce action right as soon as the action starts. I don't think the referee's going to have too much problem with these. They're going to fight. If they clinch, they're going to fight themselves out of it. Fight or bite, one of the two. They really dislike each other, and they're really putting him up. Look at Duran throwing everything he's got. He's got sort of a scowl and a smirk. Oh, he got hit again. He got hit again with the same left hook. And again. Well, a tremendous second round. Just like the first round, when Duran went down from two great left hooks, he's taken a couple of more shots, Ferdy. And he's still hanging in there and still battling back against this game challenger. Oh, almost went down to Jesus from the same punch that put Duran down in round one. A devastating left hook. The difference between these two fighters is Duran is fighting with a great deal of heat and intensity and hatred, and Estefan de Jesus is fighting coolly. He's just trying to measure him and get those shots in. So far, he's been able to get them in, but he's like a man trying to fight off an avalanche. I tell you what, they're lightweights, but they're throwing heavyweight bombs. And the crowd loves it. They're up on their feet. All 15,000 of them. It's on the second round, and they're still up on their feet from the first round. It has been that kind of a fight so far. Lightning-like action from these two men and heavy punching. Now, this is almost like a street, like a back alley brawl, Ferdy. They're just letting everything hang out. Let it go. I'll take my shots, you take yours. Beautiful thing about Duran is he doesn't forget to punch to the body. While he's head hunting, he still has time to go down and do his homework. That's going to tell. Less than a minute to go now in round two, and they are still not letting up, both fighters. The challenger with his back to you, now being pushed against the rope by the champion, the lightweight champion, Roberto Duran. Fighting in his hometown before a very partisan crowd of better than 15,000. Back to you. He wants that title. He's beaten this man before, and he must feel he can do it again. But I'm sure that Roberto Duran has other plans for the challenger. Roberto Duran is stalking him. He's measuring him, and he's waiting for that one opening which will spell the end of Duran. Oh, good right there. Good right by Duran. Just to the side, the left side of the face of the challenger, de Jesus, who now holds the left hand, as you can see him there, of Duran. Comes back with a couple of punches to the head by de Jesus. Referee doing an exceptional job of not interfering with these two fighters. The first time he's had to separate them in a long time. And oh, does Estefan look weary. He's weary, but he just missed a couple of haymakers. Well, Roberto didn't. Every time he missed, Roberto just dropped it. He just dropped it with that clubbing right hand. He looks too weary. He was taking too many. He doesn't look hurt, but he sure looks tired. Just when we thought it was slowing down, but you can't slow down against Duran because he's relentless. He does not let up on you. Now let's see if the champion goes in for the kill. He's trying, but here comes the challenger fighting right back. He's got plenty of time with 30 seconds to put him away. But can he put him away? That remains to be seen as we count down here in round 7. The referee separating them. Duran anxious to get in and see if he can end it here. And once again remain the lightweight championship of the world. Less than 15 seconds, 10 seconds now, counting down in round 7. De Jesus down momentarily, but Duran is not able to finish him off, and he will not do it here. He holds the right hand again. I'm surprised that the referee is not, taking him more to task for doing that, knocking the hands down. Roberto is so impressive in this that you don't realize how much fighting this Estefan de Jesus is doing. Estefan is doing a lot of fighting. It seems to be, we're listening to the commentary, it's all Roberto Duran, but he's landing some significant shots in there. It's just that Duran won't be stopped. It doesn't make any difference to him. He just keeps coming in. He doesn't know what the word weary or arm weary means, this Duran. He certainly doesn't. A right-left combination. He does everything you'd expect a fighter. He fights with joy, he fights with brio, he fights with strength. To him, it's the best moment of his life when he's fighting. And I'll tell you this, Ferdy, if you ever see him work out in the gym, he's the same way. Yeah, absolutely. He said inside those ropes, that's his office. I don't care if it's a preliminary kid or an amateur. If they get in with me, they got to expect to be in with Roberto Duran. It's more than his office, it's his home. It's everything to Roberto Duran. It's his private domain. Roberto Duran in the green trunks with the gold stripe. On your left now, and Estefan de Jesus.
credit to be given to Estefan de Jesus. He has had some kind of punishment in this fight. He's still in there fighting. He's weary. He's tired, but he's in there fighting and trying for that one shot that would knock out Roberto Duran. Roberto grinning again at him, that wolfish leer. It is incredible how he seems to make faces at him, then come back and punish him with 3 or 4 terrific punches.
Talk about terrific punches as we move on to 30 seconds. It's amazing, despite each fighter being knocked down once, Duran in the first round and then De Jesus later on, that both fighters are literally unmarked. We saw that slight mouse 2 rounds ago under Duran's left eye. Oh, and he took a great right from Estefan de Jesus. Just what you were talking about as we count down now, less than 10 seconds remaining here in round 10. Remember, it's scheduled for 15. A lot didn't think it would go this far on the bell for round 10. Who, as we well know, had beaten Duran in 1972. Still perhaps looking a little bit wary and slowing down, certainly not keeping up the pace he had in earlier rounds.
And the surprise of this fight, the surprise of this evening has been the ability of Estefan de Jesus to take that incessant punishment from a heavy punching Manos de Piedra, Duran. I mean, I don't know who could take that kind of shot and keep coming on as he's done. I cannot see this fight going to a decision at the end. There's just too much heavy body punishment going on by Duran. There's too much intimidation going on by Duran, and he's getting stronger, whereas Estefan de Jesus is getting weaker. Now look at this wolf. He's ready to go. His hair is back. He even looks like the wolf now.
Hey, the bell is sounded for round 11. And as we said all through this fight, even in the 3rd and 4th rounds, many thought it wouldn't even go this far. Oh, that little right there thrown by Roberto Duran, the champion, too. It's coming